Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. A little bit of a change to today's video intro. Not so much a change, but a 3D visualization of what the intro would look like. And that was created by a fan of the channel who sent this in after creating this three-dimensional visualization of my normal intro, and I told him I'd have no problem featuring it as the intro on today's video, just to see what you guys thought, and you know, just to show it off, because I really did think it was a cool thing to do for the channel. Really cool intro. So big thanks to the viewer who sent that in. For now, after this video, we're going to go back to the original intro video. But hey, if you guys liked this one more, tell me down below and we'll start using this one. Whatever gives you guys the most pleasant experience, alright? Now, before we get further, because I want to show you some really interesting UFO and alien-related news today and footage. That's what we love best here on Secure Team, but I do just want to say kudos to all of you guys who came and watched my last video, and there was just such a wonderful outpouring of interest as it surrounds this new documentary and this interview that I'm going to be doing this weekend with Mr. Russell Targ, who, if you didn't watch that last video, this guy basically operated a Stanford University experiment back in the day using psychics, or what they're called now, remote viewers, who were able to draw down on a piece of paper an exact replica of a structure or a building or a person that was thousands of miles away. One of my personal favorite remote viewers of the group, a man by the name of Ingo Swan, who we also spoke about, who, aside from using his remote viewing to gather a ton of data about our solar system that would not later come out until 20, 30 years later when we actually had sent our first space probes out, but he also did some remote viewing of the backside of our moon and is quoted as saying that when he was doing it, he saw what appeared to be artificial alien structures and bases on the backside of the moon, and it made him so uneasy after the remote viewing session that he didn't even know who to talk to about it. He also stated that while doing the remote viewing session, he felt that he was being watched by beings that were on the backside of the moon, almost as if these beings were able to tap into him, as if to say, hey, we know that you're watching us here. So that was a very fascinating and I'm sure creepy and scary example of what some of these remote viewers can do. And so if you haven't seen that video I posted, check it out. New documentary is coming. I'll put the links down below to the website and to the pre-order. If you want to go and pre-order it and check the film out when it comes out. It does look pretty cool. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm ready to interview this guy. I want to know what they found behind the dark side of the moon. So with that, and now let's get to some of the strange things happening around the world, the things that never stop, and the things that you come to Secure Team for your strange information addiction. And I want to start out with a few clips that were taken of what has been described as a massive piece of machinery, or a ship, or whatever you want to call it, that was spotted and photographed in the skies above Failsworth, Great Britain. And so we had a guy out here, beautiful day, snapping some shots outside with his camera, high-powered telephoto. And when he got back to look at some of the shots, he noticed something very strange sitting up in the sky, almost as if there was an object that was sort of fading in to our dimensions. You know, we've spoken many times in the past about how a lot of these UFO sightings and these alien-looking craft that we've seen in our skies could very well be jumping dimensions or going through some sort of a rift, dimensional rift or porthole that would allow them to momentarily cross over and go back and forth between these dimensions, sometimes maybe by accident. And so you'll get things like this, and we've featured many times what appear to be giant pieces of machinery caught up in the skies. This is one of them, and so you see the picket fence here, pretty blue skies, nothing too out of the ordinary. But when we zoom in right up to the top right area of the cloud cover here, you'll notice a very strange sort of V-shaped structure that definitely looks to have some structure to it. and, dare I say, some very alien-like features around the object. It just doesn't look like the way we would put together something here down on planet Earth. And we're just going to go through some different filters here. The object appears to have light and shadow structures that are casting light and shadow. A very long sort of metallic beam coming across where it then cuts down sort of like a V shape, comes to a point that again was taken outside. So we're not talking reflections or anything like that. Snapped outside. You can see this V-shaped or L-shaped structure up there. And, of course, the biggest mystery, why was it sitting there in the sky and where did it come from? Now, with this talk of dimensional openings, I mean, scientists have already agreed that there could be potentially hundreds of dimensions sitting right on top of ours, like a pancake. And it could be objects have the ability, or again, accidentally, having the means to momentarily cross over. And when I was watching this, it reminded me of another similar finding that was posted on Mr. MBB333's channel a couple of weeks back, where he had detected something very similar circumstances, only that time the object in question almost looked as if you could describe it, well, I'd say a Stargate. And that's what we'll just go with. It looked like a Stargate of some sort, but again, it was sitting up in the sky, not completely clear or opaque, you know, it looked as if it was sort of coming in and out, possibly of another dimension, possibly using some sort of cloaking mechanism, but here is a short clip from that video showing that strange object.
I spent hours working on this photograph, and I've got some pretty decent views of this thing. So this is just another photo that, or this is just a screenshot that I took of the original. Here's a close-up look. It gets much better, trust me. Here's side by side. This is just seconds before this one here. Unbelievable. Michelle from Southern California. See what I mean by Stargate? Have very, very similar personalities. What is known as a Stargate doesn't appear to have anything in the center. You can see shadowing, you can see reflection. This is incredible. The size of this thing is a bit difficult to ascertain. I would say it's fairly large, but I don't know. There's a comparison again. Looks exactly like a Stargate. Unbelievable photograph coming out of Southern California. Just a little less than a month old. Let me stop it right here. You can see what I'm talking about with regard to, and she mentioned it too, you can see some sort of glyphs, lettering on this edge here. That's definitely an edge. It's reflecting light on the right side, shadowing on the left. Looks very similar to this example right here. Very similar.
So, okay, a very fascinating finding by MBB333. I'll put the link to his full video down below if you want to check it out. But I believe that there are a number, and we've featured many more of these in the past, where they look like giant ships. And, you know, you'll get reports, as we've been doing lately, people reporting mystery booms, some of them coming from the ground, but many of them coming from the skies above, as if there you have a giant freight train or a machine of some sort moving through the sky overhead that you simply cannot see. But these things are so loud, they're creating vibrations, they're shaking houses, putting cracks down the street, and it's long since been theoried that these cloaked objects or these interdimensional objects are playing a part in those sounds. And so with this new discovery of what could be possibly another one, you know, I think it's definitely safe to say that we could add this to the list of theories that could link to these mystery booms happening around the world. There's some very strange things lingering within our dimension, our atmosphere, using some sort of cloaking technology, and we need more footage and video like this. So if you have it, be sure to send it in, and we'll see what more we can find. So now getting to some more UFO footage and strange unidentified objects moving through the sky, captured, stalking, watching us. We don't know what they're doing, but the first clip comes out of Canada, where passers-by began following a glowing bright light that seemed to have other smaller glowing objects tagging along with it. And nothing I've seen so far can explain what was recorded here above Canada, so give this a look.
The other one's coming back. Gone again. What the fuck is that?
Lastly, we have another video clip of some strange objects moving over the beach area located in the Dominican Republic, where it appears that something or a couple of things passed by very quickly, heading out towards the sea. So check this out. So, really interesting. Dominican Republic, strange balls of light seen floating over the ocean. Anyone has any new news or footage, be sure to send it in. I really appreciate it. And links to these videos I will put down below, so you can check them out and show them some love. Now, before we go today, just some really cool things to show you that just kind of made me happy. Things that fans have sent in, other really cool news. The first of which was a piece of footage taken by an amateur astronomer where we get a beautiful shot of the International Space Station passing in front of our moon. And so you're seeing this looped up shot here of the International Space Station. Just beautiful shot as it traverses the lunar surface here. As you know, the ISS, or International Space Station, is constantly revolving around Earth, and there are certain points of time, if you have a good enough camera, which I actually just purchased myself. I got a Nikon P1000, which has a zoom on it that rivals most telescopes, and this thing lets you get right up on the moon's surface, and it was one of those cameras likely that caught this here, and I'm hoping to catch much more myself once it gets a little bit warmer here in Ohio. Still pretty chilly out, and I just can't get out there, but we will start getting clips of the moon and the strange activity happening around them. Stay tuned for that. And so, really cool clip. And before we go, I also wanted to feature a clip that a viewer sent in showing me his new splash screen that comes up when he powers down and then powers back up his cell phone. And this is what he sees now. Well, what can I say? It's an honor. It's an honor that you would want a secure team as your opening screen on your phone. And, you know, I'm trying to think of ways that I could incorporate and maybe add them to the shop or do something to where you guys could create your own. I think that's really awesome. you know? So tell me what you think, and a big thanks to the viewer who sent that in. Awesome stuff, guys. And so tell me what you think about all of the strange footage, the mystery machines in the skies. Where are they coming from? What are they doing here? The lights seen flying over the ocean, the large glowing objects seen over Canada. All the links down below. Tell me what you think. And as always, I will see you gals and guys back with much more in just a bit.